In a world where dreams can come true with the simple purchase of a lottery ticket, the allure of vast wealth is intoxicating. But behind the shimmering surface lies a dark reality that often goes unnoticed. The stories of lottery winners whose lives are irrevocably shattered. Have you ever wondered what happens after the confetti settles and the headlines fade? Lavish spending, impulsive investments, and strained relationships become the norm as newfound wealth leads to a false sense of invincibility. But beneath the surface, a storm brews, threatening to obliterate everything they hold dear. Stories of once ordinary individuals prepared into extraordinary wealth, captivating our imagination. Yet the statistics reveal a startling truth. Welcome to the dark side of the lottery, a cautionary tale of riches, redemptions, and the price some pay for chasing the ultimate jackpot. A tale that compels us to question what it truly means to win in life. But before we dive into any real-life tragedies, we need to understand both how the lottery system works and how it takes advantage of people. Lotteries are often referred to as a tax on the poor, and for good reason. They disproportionately affect individuals with lower incomes, placing a heavier burden on those who can least afford it. And the odds are ridiculous. The odds of being killed by a vending machine are 1 in 112 million, whereas the odds of winning the Lotto jackpot are 1 in 622 million. And the odds of getting crushed by falling plane parts are 1 in 10 million, whereas the odds of winning the US Mega Millions jackpot is 1 in 258 million. And despite these odds, according to the studies conducted in the United States, lower income individuals tend to spend a larger percentage of their income on lottery tickets compared to the higher income individuals. For example, a study by the Consumer and Expenditure Survey in 2013 found that households earning less than $13,000 per year spent an average of about 9% of that income on lottery tickets. In contrast, households earning more than $130,000 per year spent only about 0.1% of their income on the lottery. And it makes sense. Just imagine this. You're struggling to make ends meet, but there's a glimmer of hope, a chance to change your life with a big lottery win. That's what the lottery promises, the dream of a better life. But how realistic is this dream? And the marketing for these addictions don't help. The marketing is carefully designed to exploit our psychological vulnerabilities. The excitement and rush of dopamine released when purchasing tickets tap into our natural desire for hope and change. But for some, it becomes an addiction, a dangerous cycle that's difficult to break. From stupid investments to murders and absolute greed, these are some of the most devastating lottery stories. In the mid-1980s, Evelyn Adams, a humble woman from New Jersey, achieved the unthinkable. She won the New Jersey lottery not once, but twice. In 1985, she struck gold with her first jackpot, an astonishing $3.9 million. But little did she know, life had more in store for her. Just a year later, she won yet another jaw-dropping jackpot, this time totaling $1.4 million. Evelyn Adams became an overnight sensation, captivating the nation with an incredible story. And with a combined fortune of $5.3 million, she had the chance of a lifetime. But unfortunately, her story took a drastic turn. Instead of managing her wealth responsibly, she was a compulsive gambler and lost most of her money in Atlantic City. She bought lavish gifts for family and friends and held extravagant parties. And before she knew it, she was flat broke and living in a trailer park. On Christmas Day in 2022, the world witnessed an astonishing moment. Jackow Whittaker, a businessman from West Virginia, became the lucky winner of a staggering $314.9 million Powerball jackpot. The news spread like wildfire, and Whittaker's name became synonymous with unimaginable wealth and overnight fame. But little did he know, his life was about to take a tumultuous turn. Initially, he embraced his newfound wealth with open arms, generously donating to charities and establishing a foundation to help those in need. His intentions were pure, but the challenges that awaited him were unforeseen. As word spread about Whittaker's jackpot win, he found himself bombarded with requests for financial assistance. Friends, strangers, and even con artists sought a piece of his fortune, leading him down a treacherous path. Reports surfaced of Whittaker's lavish spending and gambling habits. His fortune seemed to dwindle as he indulged in a high-rolling lifestyle. He lost $545,000 in cash after thieves broke into his car. His granddaughter's boyfriend was found dead of a drug overdose in his house, with his granddaughter herself also being found dead a year later. And he was sued by a casino for over $1.5 million for bounced checks. Finally, In September 2006, it was alleged that Whittaker claimed thieves took the rest of his fortune by cashing in multiple checks. And the next story highlights the dark side of human greed and misfortune. Denise and Thomas were an average couple, married for 25 years and raising their 3 children. But little did Thomas know, Denise had been hiding a life-changing secret. In the late 1990s, Denise mustered up the courage to file for divorce from Thomas without his knowledge. A dissatisfaction with their marriage pushed her to seek a fresh start. But fate had something extraordinary in store for Denise. She won a staggering $1.3 million in the lottery. A jackpot that can change anyone's life. Instead of coming clean about her newfound wealth, Denise decided to keep it all to herself, opting not to disclose the winnings during their divorce proceedings. 2 years passed, and just when Denise thought she had gotten away with her secret, Thomas received an unexpected letter that would shatter her hidden world. Thomas took legal action, alleging fraud on Denise's part, accusing her of intentionally hiding the lottery winnings. The media caught wind of the shocking case and it became a national sensation. After a lengthy battle, the court ultimately ruled in Thomas's favor. Denise was found guilty of fraud for intentionally concealing her $1.3 million lottery winning, and the consequences were severe. She was ordered to pay the full $1.3 million to Thomas, and she was left with none of her winnings. However, none of these stories were as bad as the last winner. In 1989, Willy Hurt, a resident of Michigan, had his life changed forever when he won a staggering $3.1 million in the lottery jackpot. The world celebrated with him as he held that oversized check and dreamed of a brighter future. With his newfound wealth, Hurt's life seemed destined for greatness. He indulged in extravagant purchases and basked in the limelight. But things weren't always going to be this good. As the money flowed in, so did the demons that would consume Willy Hurt. Reports suggested that he fell victim to a devastating drug addiction, primarily crack cocaine, and the once promising future began to unravel before our very eyes. Within just a couple of years, the millions had vanished, wasted on drug binges and reckless spending. He lost custody of his children, and to make matters astronomically worse, he was charged with the murder of his girlfriend. The media closely followed his decline, a truly shocking and heartbreaking fall from grace. As we reach the end of this chilling exploration into the exploitive nature of lotteries, it's clear that there's a sinister side lurking behind the glittering facade. Lotteries, with their false promises and slim chances of success, thrive on the desperation and vulnerability of those seeking a way out of their hardships. They seduce us with dreams of unimaginable wealth, only to leave many broken, bankrupt, and shattered. The regressive nature of lotteries perpetuates a vicious cycle of inequality, where the disadvantaged are trapped in a relentless pursuit of an unattainable fantasy. The burden falls heaviest on those who can least afford it, widening the divide between the haves and the have-nots. Behind the scenes, a dark web of psychological manipulation preys upon our weaknesses, turning hope into a cruel mistress. The addiction that ensnares individuals can tear apart families, obliterate livelihoods, and leave scars that may never heal. So after a deep dive into the dark side of the lottery, one question remains. Will the world finally wake up to its exploitative nature, or will the disadvantaged stay in an endless cycle of addiction and false hope? Only time will tell.